And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the
classic. Time.
Hey guys, it's Alex, and yes, I've had a haircut. My girlfriend did it, and she's, even though she's a professional hairdresser, she kind of messed it up a little bit. So she's gonna kill me for not wearing a hat in this video, but I don't care because she's not here to say anything. So yes, I am going to do this video, and if you can tell from the background, I try and avoid playing music in the background nowadays, but I am playing Invisible Touch by Genesis because today I'm doing my contest entry to Bill's 700 subs contest and 2 years in the VC contest. So Bill over at the Vinylverse, this is his contest. Like I said, it's to celebrate 2 years in the VC and him reaching 700 subs. So congratulations, Bill. Very well deserved. I've been in the VC almost 3 years, and I'm not even close to the number of subscribers you have. So well done, pal. Very, very good. Right, Bill's got 4 very easy questions, and then there's a bonus question right at the end. So let's get straight into this. Kicking it off with the first question, which is, how did you discover the VC? Here's the thing with the VC is, when I first started buying vinyl, all I was doing was looking at videos of what's called Crate Diggers and Rhythm Roulette, 2 little series on YouTube. You can search them up individually. You can kind of see what's going on. You can kind of get the idea there from what type of videos I used to watch. And then as I started building my collection, I started looking at what other people were buying, people my age, and I started looking at people's record collections. But that didn't really interest me because at the time they were all the same sort of stuff. And outside of Arctic Monkeys, there wasn't really a whole lot of stuff. Well, I started looking at these collection videos and you'd see all the same stuff. You'd see Arctic Monkeys, you'd see 1975, you'd see Legend by Bob Marley maybe, you'd see Rumours, you'd see Thriller, Eagles' Greatest Hits. You know, it was just getting very, very repetitive. And so I didn't really enjoy watching these videos after a certain length of time. Then it got to a point where under recommended, I do not remember which video it was, but it was a video from a guy called Super West, and in the thumbnail he had a album that I hadn't seen in any other video. So I thought, oh, this could be a bit different. So, and I click it, watch through it, and it is. And he talks about, I think in the video he talked about something called the VC, or Vinyl Community as it was at the time, and I had no idea what this was. So really Wes was really the only vinyl community YouTuber I was watching at the time. And this was 4 years ago, I think, when I first started my collection out and had my old vinyl channel. And then I created this one specifically for vinyl about a year later. And then rediscovered Wes's channel, resubscribed, and then as I started making videos, because I made a video called unboxing the first Cigarettes After Sex album, which is still my most viewed video on this channel. Thank you very much. As I started making more videos, I started discovering more channels through that, and sort of fell into what Wes was talking about, being the vinyl community, or the VC. That's sort of how I discovered it, was just through Wes himself, but also through other YouTubers. Andy Borders gave me a shout out in a video a long time ago, and that boosted my channel like overnight pretty much. And then I had people like Tim from DJ High Noon subscribing, and eventually I discovered like the big boys like Nas Nomad, Mr. Hall of Fame, the people who've been doing it a lot longer. So yeah, that's how I not only became aware of the VC and how I discovered it, but also how I became a very much member of the VC, even though I might not be a big member as most of you guys watching this, but I enjoy every second I'm here. So, second question. Show an album or two you picked up because of the VC. And this first one I'm showing you actually does go back to Super Wes. Yeah, he gets mentioned a lot because he is, like I said, he's the first channel I discovered dedicated to vinyl. And he showed this. Arcade Fire, Everything Now. I was aware of the album at the time, and I was aware of the band Arcade Fire, but I wasn't aware of their music. I wasn't too familiar with them. Actually, I wasn't familiar with them at all, because before this, I'm not going to lie to you, I hadn't heard anything from this group. So he talked about the album, talked about how they were one of his favourite bands, and so I decided to check the album out from the songs Everything Now, and it was, I think, particularly the song that stood out most to me was the song Signs of Life and Good Goddamn. It's a bit more of a dancey album compared to the rest of their catalogue, but I really enjoyed it. It was my introduction to Arcade Fire, and for that reason I picked it up because I did like it enough to pick it up. And since then I've become a massive Arcade Fire fan, and although I don't own everything by them, this album kicked it all off, and that's all thanks to Wes. So props to Wes for getting me onto Arcade Fire. Now, the second one I want to show, I'm going to try not to make this video too long, because no one likes watching long videos. I'm kidding, obviously. If you like watching long videos, that's not a problem. I like watching long videos. I ain't got a problem with it. I don't like making long videos, though. Anyway, before I digress anymore, for those of you who know, I'm not that into jazz. Like, I don't know as much about jazz as maybe Mr. Hall of Fame or Tunes from the Man Cave. But they're my go-to guys when it comes to jazz music, or for an in-depth knowledge. Although Tunes from the Man Cave shows bits of other stuff every now and again, and Mr. Hall of Fame branches out into everything. They're still my go-to guys for the jazz genre, and at one point or another they both talked about this artist, but Mr. Hall of Fame showed it in a video, and that made me want to pick it up. And since then, John Coltrane, it's all been about John Coltrane for me. Here's the thing with Coltrane for me, is I'm still not that in the know about jazz, but although this was later on into my sort of jazz buying, this is the reason I'm as into jazz as I am now, because before John Coltrane, before I heard My Favorite Things or I heard Giant Steps, I wasn't that fully invested in jazz. I mean, I knew Gregory Porter, I knew like Frank Sinatra, if you really call that jazz. I was into Herbie Hancock, Headhunters, but I didn't really know too much about jazz. Once I heard this album, I wanted to learn more, and so I owe this one to Mr. Hall of Fame because of you, how I am more and more invested into the whole jazz genre. So thanks for that one. And I remember finding that cheap and just losing my mind. So there you go. Okay, next question. Question number 3. Show your favorite or a favorite album in your collection. While this is not my favorite album from this artist, I'd still put this album in my top 20 or 25 maybe, but it is my favorite album currently in my collection just because of what it is. And I've showed this on a few occasions. This is Stevie Wonder's Talking Book, but it's the Mobile Fidelity pressing. This is by far my favorite album. Not only is it a mobile, this is the album that kind of switched me on into the whole, why do people, audiophile nuts, why do they care so much about the best possible pressings? And once I heard this, I was kind of like, yeah, I get it. While I'm not that into the whole audiophile stuff, like, as long as I get a good sounding copy of an album, that's fine by me. I don't go out and look for the best sounding copy. I'm not that invested in it, but this album kind of started that off, because before I would just buy an album, have the copy there, and even if it sounded terrible, I'd be happy with it. This album kind of opened my eyes a little bit, and because of that, I definitely think it's an album that, or a particular pressing that makes it sound good, and that's why now I think twice about, you know, which pressings do I want. I now think more about the pressing of the album that I want. Like, if they're putting out multiple pressings, which one am I going to want to go for? Which one's going to sound the best? Which one's going to be worth the money in investing in it, basically? And that's all because of this album. So this album, while it's not my favorite Stevie Wonder album, it's definitely in my top 3 Stevie albums. Not my favorite from him, but still a good one. I really enjoy this album for what it is. I love this album to death, and this particular pressing, I love it. So yeah, the Mobile Fidelity pressing of Stevie Wonder's Talking Book is currently, as I'm recording this, it could change, but this is my favorite album in my collection so far. Question number 4. Give a couple channel shout-outs for any reason you want. Brilliant. I've already mentioned a few channels, so a few more of the popular ones I've mentioned. I'm going to give some shout outs to some of my personal favorites that are maybe not as popular, but still pretty popular. Vinyl Talk with Tavis, great channel. He, much like myself, shows a lot of stuff that might not be necessarily shown that frequently in the VC. Like, obviously he's very much into his soul and his urban music, not like myself, but he's very knowledgeable. He's a singer himself. He's a music teacher, which I respect, because I've always, as much as I've hated teachers in my school life, music teachers I always looked up to just because it was music related. So Tavis, you win in my mind, pal. Great channel, great stuff, and I really want to see his channel grow more than it already has. So yeah. Vinyl Talk with Tavis. Miss Lady Soul, I'm giving a shout out to her. She has another great channel, much like myself, is also very much into her soul and her hip hop, like Nas and Rhapsody. I think she has a great taste of rap music as well. She obviously shows other stuff as well, outside of like the obvious stuff, outside of that, but you know, I'm just going off channels that are very kind of similar to mine, in the sense that we show not the stuff that gets shown in the VC every single day. So yeah, we branch out a bit. Yeah, they're the couple of shout outs I wanted to give. If I've missed anybody out, obviously I've mentioned loads of channels here before on this channel. So if I've missed anybody, I apologize. But obviously every channel in the VC deserves a chance. Everybody deserves their fair share of a go in the vinyl community. So yeah, I mean, it's really, really cool to see all these channels grow, especially the ones that started out with like 100, 200 subs, struggled to get there, and then just shot up overnight. Great stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see all these channels growing. So I want to give shout outs to those two. And obviously all my personal friends, you guys know who you are. Every day I pretty much mention you guys a lot, because they give me, or you guys give me more knowledge on music that I didn't even know about. So anybody who like comments, or I talk about a lot on the channel, they get shout outs all the time. I just wanted to mention a couple of channels I hardly talk about, so, but I interact with back and forth quite a bit, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram. We talk back and forth a lot, so I'm just give shout outs to you. Right, bonus question. What is Bill's favorite three-man era Genesis album? And I have no idea. I'm going to be honest. I'm sure you've mentioned it before, and I'm pretty sure I went, oh, that's my favorite one too. So that's actually the one I picked for my answer here, Bill. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I mean, I know it's only a contest and I know it's only fun, but this is my favorite three-man era Genesis album. And I'm pretty sure you've mentioned it before or talked about it in a video, and I've thought to myself, oh, that's my favorite one as well. So I'm just picking this one. Genesis' self-titled album from 1983. The whole of side 1 I love in particular. You know, you got Mama, That's All, Home by the Sea, Second Home by the Sea. Taking It All Too Hard is a great one. Actually, Taking It All Too Hard is probably one of my favorite Genesis songs. And it's off this album. So, and this is one of the first albums I bought in my collection that was not soul music. Like, this was the first thing I think I bought that wasn't soul related or anything to do with that sort of music. So yeah, this album I owe credit to anyway for that. But I remember discovering this when I was like 11 and then rediscovering it later on in life. Yeah. So I'm going to say Genesis' self-titled album. I could be very, very wrong. But yeah, if I am, I apologize. But, you know, I'm sure we have the same taste. I hope. Right. Whew. I didn't want to make the video too long. I've dragged it on a little bit. So I apologize for that. But guys, thanks so much for tuning back into the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bill, congrats again on the 700 subs. Congrats on making it to the 2 years here in the VC. Hopefully you keep up the good work, you know, keep on going many more years and keep growing your sub count as you upload more videos. And yeah, I hope to see you all again very, very soon. And Bill, congrats once again. Alright, I'm going to sign out before I ramble on anymore. Peace.